Fellow students, thank you very much for taking the time to watch my proposal presentation today. My name is Marna, and before I start the presentation, I would like to take a minute to just put it into context. I am the ministry leader for our church's special needs ministry called Matthew's Ministry. Among the wonderful programs that we offer to individuals with disabilities and their families, we operate a vocational program called the Apprentice Program. This course and all the content within have inspired me to take a critical look at our apprentice program and evaluate whether we serve the individuals with disabilities in the best way possible. This is an abbreviated version of a presentation that I will present to our church's staff. I am starting this presentation by taking a look at the facts around employment of individuals with disabilities and comparing it to individuals without. Before I introduce the status of the current apprentice program, I will pause and take a look at what it means to have a purpose. After reviewing the current status of the apprentice program, I will share my proposed changes to illustrate my plan for expanding the program. I will close this presentation by emphasizing the importance of engaging the staff. An article released by the National Conference of State Legislators in July of 2020 stated that, and I quote, "Two-thirds of the 60 million Americans with disabilities strive to work, yet only a third participate in the labor force." It goes on to say that a gap in employment opportunities between individuals with disabilities and those without has long existed. According to a report labeled Persons with a Disability, Labor Force Characteristics, published in 2021 by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2020, 61.8% of persons without disabilities were employed. At the same time, only 17.9% of persons with disabilities were employed. This is the kind of data that we will see across multiple websites or articles citing labor statistics. Before I dive into the details of the apprentice program, allow me to take a minute and reflect on what it means to have a purpose. One definition describes purpose as the reason something exists, an intended end, aim or goal, and purpose creates meaning, offers a sense of direction, and helps guide our paths, behavior, and our goals when applied to our lives. I strongly believe that every human, regardless of their strengths, talents, or abilities, wants to have a purpose in life. Because of time constraints, I am unable to share this video from the Brookwood community, but I would like to encourage you to follow this link to the Brookwood community website and videos and watch video number 4 to bring the definition of having a purpose to life. When this program was first initiated, 2 individuals with disabilities were identified to perform tasks in our church's cafe. The vocational coach was tasked to pre-learn all the activities that were to be performed by the apprentices, and the tasks ranged from cleaning shelves and tables, stocking displaying, to operating the espresso machine and cash register. The vocational coach created curriculum and worked side by side with the individuals until it was determined by adequate evaluation criteria that the individuals were able to accomplish all the tasks successfully. Since that time, 1 more apprentice was trained to work in the cafe, 1 apprentice was trained to work in the church's printing center, and another was trained to work in the catering kitchen. From this description, however, it's clear that the scope of the program is limited in terms of the participating ministries and departments, as well as the required level of abilities of the potential apprentices. This brings me to the improvements that I propose to the church's staff. I propose that leaders within each division, department, and ministry within the church identify tasks and responsibilities that otherwise would have been performed by typical staff members, can be performed by an individual with disabilities. It is critical that tasks and responsibilities not be associated with a particular disability. I propose that the criteria used to select individuals with disabilities to fill these apprentice roles be re-evaluated to reach more individuals with a wide range of abilities and talents. Although guidance on zero reject and non-discriminatory evaluation addresses proper identification of students with disabilities to qualify for appropriate special education services, I use the guidance to ensure that we identify individuals with all disabilities for apprenticeship. I propose to, instead of creating part-time paid positions for graduated apprentices, to rather create volunteer roles that perhaps could evolve into part-time paid positions over time. It is a fact that even in volunteer capacity, people still feel valued. Finally, I propose recruiting a second vocational coach to assist in vocational training across the divisions, departments, and ministries in the church. I can't help but share this mental image that I have in my mind. Just envision a care pastor visiting the ill in a hospital room, accompanied by an individual with disabilities whose talents and strengths it is to make people smile without having to say a single word. To successfully execute this program, it is critical to not just secure management support, but to also engage and encourage the church staff to be excited about the opportunities we will create for individuals with disabilities. As one of the opening statements of this presentation, I reference the gap that currently exists in employment opportunities between individuals with disabilities and those without. The expansion of the apprentice program will allow our staff to play an integral part in closing that gap. In my opinion, although I may be biased, this is a pretty special project to be a part of and be blessed by. Before closing, let me highlight some key takeaways. According to labor statistics, there is a significant gap in the workforce between individuals with disabilities and those without. And by making adjustments to our apprentice program, including identifying more tasks across various areas of the church that can be performed by individuals with disabilities, we can help close that gap. I want to close with this quote from Janice Jeff White and Reva Schaefer from the Toronto Family Network. Education is the key to developing an attitude of inclusion. The practice of inclusion provides the model of acceptance, belonging, participation, worth, and dignity. Thank you for watching my presentation.